In 2008, sermons from Senator Obama's pastor, Reverend Jeremiah Wright, broadcast all over the television networks and the internet. Reverend Wright made some statements about the treatment of black people in America and how instead of singing God Bless America, black people should sing God Damn America. He also condemned the United States for what he called crimes against people of color. The news networks went crazy. They criticized Senator Obama's loyalty to the church and accused him of being a racist as well. Steve Adubato from NBC News said that the media was to blame for Senator Obama thinking that he could get away with not commenting on the subject because the media was too easy on him.
People have to put up with. Who cares about what a poor black man has to face every day in a country and a culture controlled by rich white people? Somebody missed that. You got nervous because we got some white members here. I am still in Bible country. I am still in the text. Jesus was a poor black man who lived in a country and who lived in a culture that was controlled by rich white people. The Romans were rich. The Romans were Italians, which means they were European, which means they were white. And the Romans ran everything in Jesus' country. It just came to me within the past few weeks, y'all, why so many folk are hating on Barack Obama. He doesn't fit the model. He ain't white, he ain't rich, and he ain't privileged. Hillary fits the mold. Europeans fit the mold. Giuliani fits the mold. Rich white men fit the mold. Hillary never had a cab whiz past her and not pick her up because her skin was the wrong color. Hillary never had to worry about being pulled over in her car as a black man driving in the wrong lane. I am sick of Negroes who just do not get it. Hillary was not a black boy raised in a single-parent home. Barack was. Barack knows what it means to be a black man living in a country and a culture that is controlled by rich white people.
This speech and several other speeches were broadcast all over the media, and a lot of controversy came to President Obama's camp. For a while, Senator Obama didn't really acknowledge the controversy, probably thinking it would blow over, but more and more media coverage was given to this issue, so finally he spoke up.
We have a choice in this country. We can accept a politics that breeds division and conflict and cynicism. We can tackle race only as spectacle, as we did in the O.J. trial, or in the wake of tragedy, as we did in the aftermath of Katrina. We're a spotter for the nightly news. We can play Reverend Wright's sermons on every channel, every day, and talk about them from now until the election. Make the only question in this campaign whether or not the American people think that I somehow believe or sympathize with his most offensive words. We can pounce on some gaffe by a Hillary supporter as evidence that she's playing the race card. Or we can speculate on whether white men will all flock to John McCain in the general election, regardless of his policies. We can do that. But if we do, I can tell you that in the next election, we'll be talking about some other distraction. And then another one. And then another one. And nothing will change.
Senator Obama started this speech with the line, "We the people, in order to form a more perfect union." This is one of the most famous lines from the preamble of the United States Constitution. He talked about their goal of creating a place where they could escape from tyranny and persecution, but the fact that their dream was tainted by slavery. He then talked about his life growing up. If you didn't know, He was born to a white mother and a Kenyan father and raised by the white side of his family. He has lived in countries all over the world and has been educated at some of the world's best schools. He also discussed race relations, anger of minorities, and white privilege. He also made reference to some people's claims that he was either too black or not black enough, and the effect that these views had on his candidacy thus far, and of course he defended his pastor. President Obama had been a member of the church for over 20 years and had been friends with Reverend Wright since he had graduated from Harvard. But along with defending him, he condemned the statements that Reverend Wright made, saying that Reverend Wright's comments were not only wrong, but divisive in a time when we needed unity. But despite the comments he made, he wasn't going to disown him, because he would then have to disown the entire black community, as well as his white grandmother, who loved him, but was also one to use racial slurs and stereotypes. This speech was something different in the American presidential race. The Pew Research Center called this the biggest event of the 2008 presidential campaign so far. It was met with positive praise all around, even from some Republicans. Former Republican Governor Mike Huckabee stated to the anchors on MSNBC's Morning Joe that he handled this just about as well as anyone could have. Unfortunately, this didn't last long. As soon as this controversy died down, Reverend Wright gave a series of speeches for the NAACP and at different churches around the country. This caused a strain between the relationship of Reverend Wright and Senator Obama, and the Obamas eventually withdrew their membership from his church.